I won't only be in here. I'll be a little bit of everywhere.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jim, and I have a pair of knives to share with you today. Both are going to be from Bestech, but from two of their different lines. One is going to be the standard Bestech line, and the other is going to be a budget line called Bestechman. So, it's kind of hard to decide which one I want to go to first. I'm going to start with the lowest price, the Bestechman. And what we're looking at here, the name should be on this side. There it is, the Cicadas Wing. Now, hopefully everybody watching right now knows what a cicada is. If you don't, go look outside. They're the annoying insects making all the noise and leaving their dead husks all over the sidewalks for you to crunch on as you're walking through your neighborhood. The whole idea for this knife was to satisfy customer demand. This was an in-house design designed by Bestech's design team, not a collaboration with another knife maker or knife designer. And what they were going off of was a lot of customers voicing their opinions on crossbar lock knives that they wanted to see more, and see some from their favorite brand, Bestech. So Bestech decided we probably need to come out with a good crossbar lock knife to satisfy them. So that's exactly what they did. What they also wanted to do was offer a reversible clip model. So you can very simply just unscrew these two screws right here, remove the clip, and put it right there on the other side. So now, whether you're a lefty or a normal person, you have the perfect knife for you. And the third goal they had for this particular knife was to make it as lightweight as possible without sacrificing strength and rigidity. So what they decided to do was use G10. G10 is a fantastic material for that purpose. Now, you'll also notice it is nicely pocketed. So even though the G10 material is very lightweight, they made it further lightweight by removing some of the material. Now you might notice that I've been sitting here this entire time fidgeting and playing with this because I'm the kind of person, I do not like crossbar lock knives, axis lock, whatever you want to call it. It's never appealed to me because with the size of my hand and the size of most of the knives that I've looked at, this lock, which needs to move back and forth to allow the blade to open, usually gets hung up on my finger the way that I'm holding the knife, and it stops the knife from flicking out. And that really, really irks me as somebody that really appreciates a nice action to a knife. This knife, however, doesn't do that. Another thing that I like is they have the perfect amount of tension on the springs on this lock where I can simply pull it back, unlock the blade, and almost every time I can get the lock out from under my fingers just in time for the blade to lock back closed. So the timing of it is perfect for me. The way that it flicks open is perfect for me. I think they did a fantastic job in the execution of the mechanics of this knife for my sized hand. Now, those of you with smaller hands, I can't speak for you, but I think since crossbar lock knives are so wildly popular that most people with small hands don't have an issue with it. And I've noticed throughout my YouTube career reviewing knives, as well as dealing with watches, that I have slightly larger hands and wrists than the average person that's out there to be satisfied. So if you got big hands, this might work out perfectly for you. Another thing that I like is I love the blade shape, but we're not going to stop there, because while the blade shape is awesome, this blade coating, I don't know what it is. It looks like that rhino liner that you would spray into the bed of trucks, but it's not as textured. There is a little bit of a texture to it. That's something that I had always wanted to do while I was making my custom knives, was do a rhino liner blade. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, the problem with that, while it would be a very durable finish and it would look pretty tool-like and pretty cool, the problem is it would create a lot of friction when somebody goes to cut through something. So I never did do it. But what Bestech has done here is they have given you the look of the rhino bed liner, but it doesn't have anywhere near that grit or texture to it. It's actually really smooth. It's just not as smooth as the bare steel. You can feel the coating, but it doesn't feel rough or gritty or anything. So I wouldn't assume that this is going to give you any issues whatsoever cutting through thick material and building up or slowing the blade down at all. But it really looks cool. I can't tell you how much I really, truly like this coating material. And I'm going to talk to Bestech and see if that's an option for maybe something that I do as a production collaboration in the future. I really, really dig this. There's something special about that. Has this cool graphite look. It looks unlike anything else in the knife industry today. And of course, pairing it up with purple G10 is a pretty cool idea as well. The purple, I think, looks good. I've always liked purple, and it works well with all the black accents, the black hardware, and the black blade. In my opinion, this looks better than a black oxide PVD, and it looks better than doing just a regular black Cerakote. And certainly better than a black wash, a black stone wash, because it has a more consistent finish all the way through. I dig it. All right, so that's it for the Bestech Man. I don't want to put it down. I really do enjoy playing with that. Okay, so let's move on. We have a second knife to get to and not a lot of time to do it. Now we get over here to the regular line Bestech. This is called the Mantidae. Now, I don't know what Mantidae means, unfortunately. I'm kind of wondering if it's named after another insect. I'm not sure. Now, for those of you that go back a little ways on my channel, not even too far, I think only last year, I had the wonderful opportunity to bring out to you a bug-shaped knife that I thought was pretty cool. And that was designed by a little girl named Gogo. I believe she was 8 years old at the time. This one is designed by her older brother, Lucas, who is 12 years old. And he's also big into insects. And he wanted to create something in the shape or reminiscent of a praying mantis. So he laid out basically his idea for what the design should be. And Ostap Hel, the awesome Polish knife maker and designer who does a lot of projects with Bestech, stepped in and helped him finish up the sketches and turn it into a functional knife. Now let's talk about what this thing has got as far as features. You're looking at a 14C28N blade steel with jade G10 scales over the steel liners. Your overall length is 6.94 inches with a blade length of 2.94. And that reminds me, I forgot to give you the specs on the Cicadas wing. We'll come back to that after I get done with this. I don't want to cut into the time that I'm giving to the Mantidae. Mantidae. Yeah, I think that's correct. (14C28N) is an inexpensive steel that a lot of companies have been using because it gives you a good degree of edge retention. Not anything crazy like S90V or anything, but every bit as good as most of your standard EDC steels, like M390, for example. And it's more readily available, and it costs less. So that's the great thing about Bestech, is they know the proper combination to make a good recipe for a knife, to give you the right price, to give you the right design, to give you color options and colorways that you really want, and to give you some pretty special designs overall. And this is something wildly different. So you do have kind of a hawksbill look going on here. I definitely see the insect influence to it. It's a little bit more aggressive than your standard hawksbill. This has a black wash finish on the blade, as well as the black PVD on the pivot, on the hardware, and the pocket clip. The steel liners do have some lightning holes put into them so that you've got a lighter weight knife overall. And for me, when you see someone using Jade G10, I strongly prefer it up against black. If there's going to be liners under it, I want them to be black. There's something I don't like about the look of Jade over polished or brushed or whatever natural looking white steel. I don't like that combination. It almost makes the scales look like a Hall's cough drop to me, and I just don't like it. By having that dark shadow coming from underneath them, I feel it gives it a different personality, and I tend to enjoy that a lot more. Now, you've seen me flicking this a lot because it is a wonderfully flickable blade. But yes, you can slow roll it. The detent is set perfectly so that you can both flick or slow roll without any issue whatsoever. Can I reverse flick? Not with this size of knife. My finger wants to get in the way of that backside thumb stud. But, yeah. But it does do it. It does flip out well from the detent itself. They've done a really cool job with the plunge cuts following the shape of the end of the scale. I really like how that looks. Overall, if you're looking for something small but seriously wicked looking, I don't know, maybe you're carrying a box cutter to work every day and you work in an environment where you are literally cutting open boxes all day or shipping straps or something like that, and you want something that's a bit more aggressive, a bit cooler, maybe a bit more sci-fi looking, this would be a good alternative for you. If you just like collecting funky looking knives that aren't like everything else on the market, yes, this is going to be an excellent option for you at an affordable price. You've got ceramic bearings, you've got a stainless steel clip, so you don't have to worry about bending the clip as easily as you would, say, titanium. And you have a short little blade that's under 3 inches, which for most people living in most restrictive states, that is going to be perfectly legal. Do check the laws in your state. Don't take my word for it, because I don't know. I haven't studied every state's laws, of course. Now, let's get back very quickly to the Cicadas wing, because I regret that I did not give you the dimensions and specs as I should have. Okay, so on the Cicada wing, you're looking at an overall length of 7.2 inches, a blade length of 3.15 inches, so again, still a pretty small knife. This one feels a bit more substantial in the hand and a bit more substantial for cutting tasks than the Mantidae does. Just putting it out there, even though it's only a slightly longer blade. Ceramic bearings on that one as well, and your blade material is 10R15 MOV. I'm sorry, 10CR15 MOV. I apologize, I don't really work a lot with budget steels, and me saying 10CR just feels kind of weird. I don't really get a chance to do that very often. So there are those two side by side so that you can see the comparison. And hopefully one of these two strikes a chord with you and you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time around.